Here's a cool fact. Mercedes sells over 15 models in India, but 1 in 3 Mercs sold in India is an E-Class. So you can guess the car maker's urgency to bring the updated model to our market. It's here with us a few months ahead of its intended launch. What's new on the facelifted E-Class is what we're going to talk of in this video. We'll go outside in, and what's clearly evident is that this facelift is no nip and tuck job. Mercedes has grafted in a trapezoidal grille, new headlights and slimmer and stretched out taillights to align styling with the very latest models. And the visual effect is impressive. The 5-meter plus E-Class looks regal as ever, but there's a hint of sportiness too now. There are even subtle power bulges on the bonnet. Top-spec E350D versions like our test car make an even stronger impression. Offered exclusively in a new AMG line trim, the E350D is identifiable by its bolder grille with studded embellishments, sportier bumpers and attractive 18-inch AMG rims. The changes inside are far subtler, not that there was much need for change to begin with. If there's one reason to buy the Mercedes-Benz E-Class, it has got to be its rear seat. Now this is a car that is huge on space, and the seat I'm on is the one you'd want to be on. Now as before, there is a long list of party tricks. So for one, you have powered adjust for the rear sunblind. You can use a button to operate the rear visors, and of course you can move the front passenger seat forward to create even more legroom. You also have the option to recline your own backrest, and don't you just love these pillow-like rear head restraints? Ride comfort is another highlight on the E-Class. The range-topping E350D as before comes with air suspension, and set to comfort mode, it does a really good job of softening the blows of our roads. Low-speed ride is really cushy and nice. It's just that when the going gets faster, you can feel that softness at higher speeds. There is a level of floatiness. The car tends to move up and down, but that can be controlled by requesting your chauffeur to switch the car to sport mode. You won't need to keep instructing your driver for other functions, however. Mercedes has also updated the rear tablet, so now you can not only control the navigation and music features, but you can also control some functions of the central touchscreen right from the back. There is space for a middle passenger, but the rear section is best experienced by 2 occupants with the massive center armrest folded down. But as good as the E-Class's rear seat experience is, it's not perfect. For one, there are certain things like the absence of too many cup holders. There's just one, and it's a bit of a reach away at the rear center console. The other issue remains the efficacy of the air conditioning system. Now this is something we brought up in the past as well. The E-Class has a large cabin, but the air conditioning system takes a bit of time to cool it. But tech-savvy owners will not have that problem to contend with. All they need to do is pick up their phone, connect with their car, switch it on remotely and have it pre-cool, and you'll be good to go. Like all new Mercs, the E-Class is big on connected tech and gets a whole host of functions. Up front, there's much to like as ever. The basic design of the E-Class's dashboard is pretty much the same as before, and that means that it successfully marries old world warmth with new age tech. You get these nice large surfaces finished in unlacquered wood, and they are complemented by these large digital screens. Now these screens are high-res and look properly up to date. The biggest change inside the E-Class's interior is this new steering wheel. It's got a cool 3-spoke design, and it's finished to a grade that wouldn't look out of place in an S-Class. Also new on the steering wheel are the redone touch controls. So the ones on the left let you control the central infotainment screen, while the ones on the right let you operate and toggle through the different themes for the digital instrument cluster. Touch responses at the steering wheel are good, but they're not great. Some of the functions do feel a bit fiddly. A bigger concern to me would be keeping this pristine cream steering wheel clean. The cream and blue interior theme is exclusive to the range-topping E350D AMG line. The blue finish for the top portion of the dash and door pads is distinctive, but might not be to everyone's taste, and possibly won't work well with all exterior color options either. Talking colors, as standard, the E-Class gets you a brilliantly done 64 color ambient lighting system. In general, the feature list is long, with LED headlamps, a responsive 12.3-inch touchscreen, configurable 12.3-inch digital dials, and a superb Burmester sound system. Within the E-Class range, the E350D AMG line is the only one to get a crisp 360-degree camera and memory function for the front seats. A subtle pointer that this is a version intended for owners to take the wheel too. The front seats are really comfy as well, even if they lack ventilation and massage functions. As before, there's the option of 4-cylinder petrol and diesel engines and a 6-cylinder diesel. Featured here is the range-topping E350D diesel that made the switch from a V6 engine to Merc's latest straight-six diesel over the transition to BS6 emission norms last year. It's this engine's refinement that gets you first. It's very quiet at idle, and even on the go, the slightly grainy sound from the engine bay is unobtrusive. Power delivery is smooth, and the 9-speed automatic gearbox works fluidly in the background. But the E350D is not just about a hushed cabin and calming experience. With 286 horsepower and 600 Newton meters of torque, this 3-litre straight-six diesel has a lot of punch. Performance is expectedly brisk, and with a 6.1 second 0 to 100 kph time, you can, to borrow a phrase from social media, race into the weekend. Set the drivetrain to sport mode and you feel that the engine has even more to give. But doing so also makes the gearbox tend to feel a bit hurried. The E350D is no BMW 530D in its handling, but it is still really enjoyable to drive. The E-Class steers with grace, it changes direction smoothly, and honestly, you wouldn't really have it any other way. It is a 5-meter plus long limousine. There is a nice degree of precision to the steering wheel. You can point it into corners quite well, and you also have the option of adding a bit more weight to it with sport mode. So it's good that you can mix and match settings for the drivetrain, the steering, and the suspension using individual mode. To me, the best compromise would be the drivetrain set to comfort, the suspension set to sport, and the steering, depending on your mood, set to comfort or sport. Within city confines, you'll find the E-Class quite easy to drive, though tight U-turns are not its forte. Big speed breakers could also pose a problem on the air suspension equipped E350D. There is a tendency for the car to scrape its belly, but you always have the option to raise the suspension height, and that really does come handy. Also, the E-Class might not be the pick of your cars for airport runs. The boot houses a dedicated compartment for the space-saver spare tire, but as a compromise, luggage space itself is quite limited. What's also missing is powered operation for the boot lid. So that's that about the 2021 Mercedes-Benz E-Class facelift. Typical E-Class buyers who are buying one for the rear seat experience will be satisfied with the E200 or the E220D. This range-topping E350D that comes in at 80.9 lakh rupees ex-showroom is a big stretch, but the added outlay also gets you a properly strong engine and the enhanced comfort of air suspension. This is a car that's as enjoyable from behind the wheel as it is at the back seat. The new look is also impactful, and there's simply little to complain about the rest of the package either. The E-Class has long been the default choice for large luxury sedan buyers in India. With the latest updates, the proposition has gotten stronger still.